Welcome to the Digital Maddy Show. This is a platform where I share my knowledge on video creation, how to generate organic traffic, and how to make sales through video making. I also invite many influencers and digital marketers on this show and ask amazing questions to extract their secrets of business. Let's get started with your host. Hi, my name is Mithyl and I'm a YouTube and video creation coach, and I help aspiring video influencers to generate organic traffic and make sales through video creation. Today we have an awesome guest on our show. She is a spiritual coach, she is into meditation, and she is here to give you lots of tips regarding law of attraction and manifestation. She is already into the studio. Let's welcome her. So let's welcome on the show Savannah. Let me introduce her. She is a spiritual life coach, a meditation teacher, and a bird doula at earthandwater.co, who helps women unleash their inner warrior goddesses through chakra, mindset, and alignment work so that they can conquer the battles of life, feel more supported in their ventures, and love who they are. So, welcome, Savannah, to our show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great. So, Savannah, let me ask you one of my favorite questions. Can you share one of your favorite quote or a line that motivates you on a daily basis?
So I'm really into affirmations, and you'll notice that in a lot of my content that I am really into affirmations. So my favorite one is I'm a warrior, and sometimes I variate between that and a couple of other ones, but that's the mindset that I try to keep and take on because in my line of work, you kind of have to get in front of people and talk to people, and you learn very quickly that you're not the only one who hates getting in front of people. Everybody hates getting in front of people. So to get myself to be able to do that, I keep that at the back of my mind because I feel like somebody has to do it.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Savannah. So, Savannah, since people are listening to you, can you share some of your backstory to us?
Sure. So more on the I'm a warrior thing. I had severe anxiety growing up. I don't remember a time when I didn't have anxiety. And I didn't speak for probably the first 23 or so years of my life. Not that I couldn't, I had the ability, but I could do one-on-one okay most of the time, but if you got more than two people around me, I literally couldn't physically make the words come out of my mouth. So that was severe social anxiety, which turned into trauma-based anxiety, which turned into postpartum anxiety. And that's kind of like where I started from, because I had all these dreams and ambitions in life, and I knew I was never going to make it to those if I didn't figure out how to break through my barriers of not being able to communicate or put myself out there. I went from not even being able to like a Facebook post because somebody might know I exist if I did that, to getting on podcasts and videos and doing this sort of thing. So I firmly believe in my journey of being able to overcome and conquer my limitations. I learned that everything's a mindset, everything is malleable, nothing is definitive, and I really want to share that power with other people because if I can do it, I assure you anybody can do it.
Cool.
So
let's have a high five. Great.
Thank you.
So, Savannah, tell me very honestly, are you the hidden Wonder Woman, basically? Because the story that you have shared from a timid person who's afraid to come in front of people to a complete warrior, a strong, true warrior, something similar to Wonder Woman. Is it true? Are you a Wonder Woman?
Some people may argue that. I don't feel like I am personally, but at the exact same time, I run two businesses minimum, not counting the extra little things I do here and there. And then I'm a mom of two toddlers and overcoming all of these things that I've overcome. So I wouldn't say I'm superhuman at all. Like anybody's capable of this. The information's out there. It's just a matter of wanting it badly enough to train yourself to be able to do these things.
Cool. Awesome. So, since you are a spiritual life coach, let me talk one of my favorite topics, manifestation and law of attractions. So, what is law of attraction and manifesting as per you?
So, law of attraction is this underlying force of nature that brings us or helps us navigate life if we know how to tap into it. And we're capable of tapping into it naturally, but a lot of us are doing it by default and like randomly stumbling onto the way to manifest, because manifesting is the act of using the law of attraction and bringing what you want into this physical world. And when you can learn how to do it purposefully instead of by default on accident, the world can really open up for you and take you anywhere you want, bring you anything you want.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, how does it work?
So there's this, everything is energy, right? I'm energy, your energy, the devices we're recording this on is energy. This desk, this chair, the only thing that makes the objects different than us per se is the rate at which we vibrate. You know, it's how we differentiate between the chair and the desk. So this energy is interconnected because, you know, we have an aura. Our aura is our energy, and everything has this radiating from it. And this is how we're connected. So we can tap into this web and bring things to us. But see, we have to know how to do it. It's not hard. It's very simple, but it is kind of a learned mechanism, because even though we can naturally tap into it, you know, we see this in children. Children tend to, for the most part, get what they want, how they want. Especially these days, I don't know, mine aren't told no very often. It's probably due to having so many grandparents. But we are conditioned out of this natural process through society. And the situations and circumstances that we come across that we experience in our life lead us away from the natural state of love and compassion and peace that we're born into, and towards, you know, we're told it's a dog-eat-dog world. We're told that it's a world of lack and that you have to work hard if you ever want to be anybody or do anything. And the truth is when we can take out all of this extra that we've learned that may not be true, because honestly, there's not very many things in this universe that are absolutely concrete, definitive. Everything's malleable. And when you learn that, you can learn that most of us are operating under these false presumptions of life, and these false presumptions are what's creating our life. So if we can take out all of the beliefs that don't serve us and aren't useful to ourselves, our lives aren't beneficial to those around us, and accomplishing our desires and goals, then we can get back to this natural state of love and compassion, which is where manifestation occurs. So yeah, you tap into it by getting into this field of energy, and you get into this field of energy by embodying the emotions, the vibrations of love, understanding, compassion, peace, that sort of thing. Does that explain it?
Absolutely. So where do we start doing that?
So, okay. Coming back to the false beliefs, you kind of have to know what's standing in between you and what you want. And to do that, even, you have to know exactly what it is you want. And that's where a lot of us get hung up, because as humans, we've always, you know, until very recently in history, the world was a little bit more of a dangerous place. And we needed to be on high alert all the time. And the good things weren't as important as the bad things, because knowing the bad things and paying attention to the bad things is what kept you alive. So it's only been recently in history that we've been able to relax a little bit, but we're still living in this constant state of stress. And in this, we've evolved to know exactly what we don't want. You know, we don't want the other tribe to attack. We don't want to anger anyone that may kick us out of the tribe, and so we're on our own and we die of starvation. We don't want the panther to come kill us, you know, those types of things. But so knowing what we did want in life was never very important in an evolution standpoint. So we're not good at it now. You know, you see this every day, and you ask your friend or your spouse or whoever, what do you want to eat tonight? It's always a horrible conversation, because most of the time nobody knows. Like, I don't know, what do you want to eat? I don't know, what do you want to eat? And you get stuck in this endless loop. So the hardest part for most people is figuring out exactly what you do want. You have to know exactly the vision that you want to create for yourself. And once you figure out exactly what you do want, it's just a matter of tuning your vibrations to the already having of it. Because the universe speaks in literals. It doesn't understand don't want. It just hears this. And it says, oh, this must be what you want. So let me help you get that. So if you're like, I don't want this bad thing to happen, I don't have a very good example, but the universe is just like, oh, bad thing happened. Gotcha. And so you kind of have to work on your emotions and your vibrations for tuning to what you do want and the aspect of already having it. Because if you, for example, I like to tell my clients that our words and thoughts are like spells into the universe, you know, like magic spells. So if you say, I want this, that is a state of lack. It's a state of not having it, because why would you want it if you already had it? So it's telling the universe that you don't want it, because it's a state of lack, if that makes sense. So instead, what you want to do is, I encourage meditation daily on your vision and what you're wanting to manifest. And imagine yourself being in the situation where it's already manifested. And just put yourself, a lot of people have trouble visualizing, but you want to put yourself in the state of being there. You want to know what it feels like, what it looks like, what your toes feel like in the grass, if that's part of the vision. You know, if your vision is to have money per se, because that's a pretty common one, think about what it would feel like to open up your bank account and see all of the what's available to you there. Think about what it would be like to just go out and buy whatever you want. You see something, you want it, you go get it. What would that feel like? And then express gratitude for the already having of it. And then you also have to trust that this is the process, because any piece of doubt will stop it in its tracks and keep it from coming. I hope I didn't digress too far away from the question.
Basically, what you just said, I resonate with what you're trying to say. I was just, before this interview, I was speaking to one of my friend, and he is into Ho'oponopono and he is into meditation. So he said, there is a reason that there is a spiritual guru who has come to this interview, because you are the first spiritual person who, spiritual life coach who has come to this podcast. So he said very clearly, today the universe is going to give you a message. You just need to have your ears open and be very specific about it. So when you were speaking, I was thinking maybe something related to frequency or something, but you said that completely hit me. You said, whenever we say I want, the universe think that you don't want it, or it is something which is in the negative per se, you have to believe that you already have it and do the meditation based on that, and that's how you get it. If I'm not wrong, this
That's
is
it.
what I have understood it.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
So thank you so much for giving this awesome gift. And I think whosoever is listening to this particular episode, if they believe and follow this thing, manifestation will be very easy, because we do have dark times right now, COVID and the virus around, with economical downturn. So I think this is something that you should uh, follow and believe, and the results will be done. So thank you so much for giving this value to us. So one of my favorite question, because I have followed it in the past, and since I'm from a science background, so with respect to physics, this is the concept. How do we attune our vibrations? Because that is something resembling to changing your frequency on the radio, and you get your radio station. So how do we attune our vibrations based on getting the manifestation done?
Yeah. So I love that analogy of tuning a radio station, because it's exactly that. We have an emotional guidance system. It's a part of our intuition, but I think they're slightly different. They kind of go hand in hand. Your emotional guidance system is the universe trying to speak to you, essentially, and lead you on your proper path and what you're meant to do in this life. So listening to that, if you feel happy, at peace, love, gratitude, those types of higher vibrations, you want to follow that. If you're finding resistance or anger, then you kind of want to steer away from that. It's very easy. It's very intuitive to follow and learn. I do want to make the differentiation between resistance and discomfort, because as humans, we're comfortable in our routines. We're comfortable. We like knowing what's going to happen next. And because, once again, there was safety in routine throughout history. And deferring from or going away from the routine can be seen as dangerous. And but discomfort it's where growth happens. If you're resistant to something, you'll feel it in every cell of your body. It's like it's screaming, no, don't do that. It's like it's resistant. It's very resistant. It's a strong emotion. Discomfort is more like twitchiness in your seat. You know what I mean? It's like almost like fear. It's different. You can feel it. And a lot of people get hung up on not trusting what they're feeling. They're like, oh, I don't know, is this discomfort or is this resistance? And honestly, all I can really give you with that is to practice trusting your intuition and yourself and your body. It's always trying to direct you, always trying to tell you. If you really need some clarity on which it is, mark out some space in your calendar, in your day, and sit down, meditate, clear your mind, ask to be shown the answer, and then trust what's coming through. Because a lot of times we don't want to trust it because it may not be the answer we want to hear. We want to hear, no, you're fine, just keep doing what you're doing. But sometimes that's not the best thing for us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's how you do that.
Cool, awesome. So I'm speechless. You said something about emotional guidance system. This word came to me in my life in 2004 when the book was launched, The Secret, and the movie was launched, The Secret, and that's where it was explained in a better way. So yes, the moment you said that, I just got that entire image in front of me, all the different feelings and their frequencies. So if you're in the good frequency, you'll manifest good thing. If you're on the bad frequency, you're not going to manifest what you want. So thank you so much, Savannah, for sharing that.
Right, and there's a chart that you can look up also. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is Google emotional guidance system to get the chart. And it's like a spiral, and it's like a coned spiral, and the meet in the middle, and you want to stay like above in the top portion of that.
Absolutely. Great. So, Savannah, let me ask you something more. So, what are some examples of law of attractions working in your life?
So, here's something that happened just about 2 weeks ago that I thought was really cool. It floored me, the way this happened. So, and it's not like something big. It's just a little how a law of attraction happens in your daily life. So I have a neighbor that's about 3 houses down from here, and she had her bike stolen. And they put a post on Facebook about it, and tagged the whole neighborhood in case anybody saw it, they could let them know. So, I was like, okay, that's cool. I did my due diligence and shared the post, and that was about it. I wrote it off in my head, like I'm not going anywhere today, so I won't be seeing anything. And not 30 minutes later, after being tagged in this post and sharing it, I was trying to do my yoga practice like I had planned on, but I was really uncomfortable. I was like, I felt like I needed to do something. And then my grandparents live on the other side of the road, so they're probably like 15 houses down, so it's not too far, but not walking distance. And they popped in my head, and I had this overwhelming urge to go over there, and hadn't planned on it, hadn't thought about it at all. So I loaded my kids up in the matter of like 5 minutes, because I was like, I have to go over there. It was so strong, I couldn't do anything else. So I went over there, and they're in their 80s. So we're sitting on their back porch for not 5 more minutes, and I look over and I'm like, oh, why do y'all have a bicycle? Wait a second. The bicycle that had been stolen was sitting on my grandparents' back porch. And all of this happened in a matter of 30 minutes between them posting the post, tagging me in it, me sharing it, having the urge to go to my grandparents' house and finding it. Someone had ditched it in beside their house in a field. And my grandfather had propped it up against a tree, hoping that somebody would see it that owned it. 2 days went by, nobody had gotten it, and he had just brought it to his house. So yeah, I feel like she manifested that. And, people mock manifestation because they're like, oh, I just sit around and meditate, and then what I want's going to show up at my door. And that may happen, but it's very unlikely that would happen. What usually happens is that you get this inspired action, and the inspired action, which in this story was my overwhelming feeling to go visit my grandparents out of nowhere, and that leads you to what it is you were hoping to manifest. I kind of did the same thing with our house that we live in now. We were looking for a house. My husband's the type of person who has to look at if he wants to buy a house, he has to look at every house in the area 5 times. If he wants to buy a car, he has to look at every car in the area 5 times. Me, I'm just like, I'm not interested in that. It'll come to us if it's meant to be. And sitting on my couch, never made the first move to look for a house. Somebody sends me a link to a house that we ended up buying. And the house wasn't even on the market yet. It wasn't, the owners didn't even really want to sell it. They were, the owner said that she had posted it talking about how she was about to sell it in hopes of getting her husband to finish some of the projects that were laying around. And yeah, so I manifested our house. And so it happens in very unexpected ways. That's a key that you have to remember, is that you can't say, I want this and I want it to happen like this. You have to open your mind to the possibilities of the different directions in various ways that it can come into being.
Absolutely. So first of all, the story is awesome. It just gave me goosebumps. So yes, manifestation is magical, and it gives you a urge. And so when the universe, which is behind me, so
it's beautiful.
Thank you. Now I am able to understand why the universe is behind me, because it's helping me. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So all the people who are listening to this particular episode, I think this is something which will be very valuable to them also. So what are the some steps people can take to manifest what they want? Some tips if you can just share.
Sure. The first thing I always get all of my clients to do is get a journal or a piece of paper, or open up your Google Docs, whatever your form is, but I highly recommend actually physically writing it with like a pen, and write down your ideal life. Yeah. Every detail that you can come up with, your average day in your ideal life. What does it look like? What is your morning routine? How are you dressed? How is your commute? How is your interactions with everybody that you come in contact with? What are you eating? What do you do in your extracurricular activities? How is your commute home? What is your afternoon routine, your bedtime routine? Everything that you can come up with, and how all of that feels. Get as detailed as you possibly can. I will not accept anything less than a page long worth of ideal life details, because it's important to really embody the vision and put yourself in it 100%. And you can't do that if you don't know how it smells, if you don't know how it tastes, if you don't know how it looks, how it feels against your skin. If you're outside, you can feel the wind, like you're writing a story and you are the main character. That's what I want you to do, because the only way we can get to our destination is to know where we're trying to go. You don't get in the car and just start driving and then figure out where you're going. And that's what a lot of us are trying to do in life. And that's why we're lost, driving in circles, not sure of our destination. So that is the first and most important step. After that, you want to figure out what's standing in between you now and making this vision a reality. And a lot of people is going to tell you, oh, it's money. And it's not money. Money is your excuse, and you're living in a state of lack, and you're creating the lack of money through your beliefs and your emotions. Happy people aren't happy because they have money. They have money because they're happy, if that makes sense. The happiness has to come first. And a lot of people are holding themselves back with false beliefs. Oh, that could never happen to me. I don't have what it takes. That's not available to me. I came from a bad childhood, so I don't have the means. I don't have the connections. But the internet has brought us so much that we are truly unlimited. For our grandparents, our great-grandparents, manifestation may have been a little bit more difficult, depending on what they wanted, because you had to kind of, up until recently, your view of life was only that which you encountered. You only knew that which you saw, felt, spoke to, known in person. But now that we have the internet, we see all of the possibilities in front of us. If you want something, it's not a matter of, oh, I don't know who can help me with that. It's a matter of, okay, who can help me with that, and how do I find them? How do I get in contact with them? How do I talk to them? It's not a matter of, oh, I don't have the skills. It's okay, what am I going to type into Google to figure out how to get these skills? You can YouTube almost anything. You can find an article on almost anything. You can find a book on almost anything. And yeah, there are some questions out there that are unanswered, but they're usually not important to what we're trying to manifest as people. So yeah, that's where you should start, is writing your ideal life, and then figure out what false beliefs are keeping you from getting that. And once you figure out your false beliefs, you can kind of start reworking them and forming some better, more beneficial beliefs, and get closer to your goals.
Great. Thank you so much, Savannah, for that. So all the people who are listening to this particular episode, if they want to learn more from you and connect to you, is there a way they can do that?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at earthand_water. And of course, my website has the links to everything, earthandwater.co, and not co. That's a common mistake. People are like, I can't find you. Like the missing M is not a typo. But yeah, you can find me on that. I have a Facebook group that you can join where we do daily chakra alignment and mindset work to get you closer to where you want to be in life.
Awesome. So all the people who really are action takers and want something more in life, do check out her Facebook group and her YouTube channel. She is awesome and gives awesome values. So thank you so much, Savannah, for being on the show. Since we have come to the end of the episode, would you like to say something to our viewers?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, the thing I come across the most, nobody's going to take your hand and lead you to your dreams. Okay, you can't have this victim mindset of, a princess stuck in a tower hoping somebody will rescue you and give you the palace. You have to climb down from the tower yourself and go attack the castle if you want the castle or whatever. You have to take it upon yourself to make things happen. I will help you in every way that I possibly can, but you have to contact me first.
Absolutely. It's like the princess is trying to avoid the coming out of her comfort zone because she's scared that there is a COVID around and been stuck in the castle for so many years. Cool.
Exactly. She's afraid of the dragon flying around, but she doesn't know that the dragon's actually a hologram and just there to scare off people. It's not real.
Wow. Lovely. So thank you so much, Savannah, for being on the show and giving us awesome values.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you are listening to the Digital Maddy Show with your host, Mithyl Dave, and we have an awesome guest on our show, Savannah, and she just gave us so much values on manifestation and law of attraction. So do check out her link. If you are listening to this particular episode on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and listening to my podcast, subscribe to my podcast. Thank you so much, Savannah, once again for being on the show. It was our honor.
Namaste.